Hey, so what's up? Today is a YouTube video, the start of a YouTube video that I have been so excited to make. For this YouTube video, this was supposed to be like the adventure crew trip going through southern Utah. However, the adventure crew trip got canceled. Some attendees had to bail out. So now I'm doing a solo trip through five of my favorite national parks in the world. They're all in southern Utah for this road trip. We're gonna go through Zion, Bryce Canyon, Capitol Reef, Canyonlands, and Arches. And the best way to start an adventure like that is to start it at my favorite diner in all of the world, the Black Bear Diner. Let's go. Look at this. I love having breakfast here so much. These biscuits, man. Biscuits are so good. Jalapenos and the eggs is the best way to start an adventure. The good meal in your belly. After this, it's down to Zion National Park. I'm gonna finish this up. See ya in the wild. I made it here to Zion. This is the campsite that I booked for the first night. Clearly not super ideal weather. However, we are in Zion National Park, and this is something that I haven't been able to show on a YouTube video in a very long time. This country out here is some of the most spectacular that you can find anywhere. So tomorrow morning I'm going to try to find my way into the park. There's still a ton of people here. It's a very busy national park, so we're just going to see if we can make it happen. We made it here though, and that is very special. See ya in the morning when it's hopefully stopped raining. It's 1 a.m. Listen to the rain on the roof. It's not great hiking weather, but the desert really needs this rain. Good morning. As you can tell, the weather has still not cleared up. It is snowing in the hills and the river is raging. This is terrible hiking conditions. Like going through the Narrows today, which was the plan, would be nearly impossible in this because it's hiking up a river like this. Not to mention, it's freezing cold. This is hypothermia conditions trying to go up the Narrows. It's a brutal hike to start with that's unusually cold in the canyon, but today is really not ideal conditions at all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in, I do a little work at the coffee shop, see if it clears up at all, and then we'll hike just to the mouth of the Narrows, and hopefully we can just go see it at the very least today. It doesn't always go according to plan, but just being here is worth it. And we still got a lot of beautiful things to see. Just can't wait to show you inside the park. It's epic. Hey, so listen, I'm trying to bring you into my life and be kind of honest, authentic here. I'm waiting in line to go into the national park right now. You can see how epic this countryside is. But I just stopped and I talked to some of the locals at the grocery store and some people that had been in the park yesterday. And it turns out that Zion during this time of year, March 21st right now, is usually about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Like, it's amazing. It's so good. Great weather. Right now it is 42 degrees and raining and wet with snow up on the hills right here, and it's getting down to like 20 at night, which is insane. Very, very good for the environment is what we keep saying. I have to remind myself it's a good thing for the ecosystem. But like, there's so much water in the environment right now. The Narrows hike that I was planning on doing is completely shut down. Like, there's so much water flowing through there, it's a hazard. If you go in there, you will die. That's what the Park Service is saying. So I'm trying to wait it out and maybe drive through the park just to show you some of the places that are so amazing. But you can see how long the line is. Like, even now it's 10:45 in the morning and I'm a little late to the party. It's still such a popular national park. So the unfortunate truth is I don't think I'm gonna get to hike or do much of anything here at Zion because I got other campground reservations at the rest of the national parks that I gotta film for you. So I'm just gonna try to get footage for you the best I can, wait through this long line, and maybe it'll work out. So that's just how adventure goes sometimes. You gotta take it as it comes, roll with what you got, and enjoy the best of it that you can, because even though it's not ideal conditions for me, this is super, super awesome conditions for Utah and the environment and how fantastic this place is. So this means that it's going to be a great summer and the animals and plants are going to thrive. All right, montage incoming. Interrupt this real quick to let you know how freaking lucky I am right now. I'm sitting up here waiting for the tunnel to open up for us to pass through, and the maintenance lady just came up to me and said there was a massive rockfall event right after I drove through, apparently, that's blocking an entire lane of the road back behind me right now. Zion National Park is selective with who it lets in. There are so many people here. The park rangers work so hard. It's so beautiful. So if you get in here, be happy, because Zion just closed off the rest of travel back that way through the park for at least another couple hours. It is shocking, maybe the rest of the day, and I made it through, baby. Let's go check out the tunnel now. Here comes the tunnel. We actually got a little hike in Zion. Look how much water there is! Echo! I love this national park. Oh my gosh! This is so epic. Yay! Oh. Ah. Whoa. It is getting a little bit later in the evening now, and I'm just making it to the outskirts of Bryce Canyon National Park. At about 6,600 feet, I think at the highest, Bryce Canyon gets into this high ponderosa forest with very unique geology that I'm going to show you as soon as we get up just a little bit higher. Here we go. Where Zion National Park is characterized by massive red rock faces the size of mountains, Bryce Canyon National Park is characterized by these stone pillars, these red rock castles among the forest. They're beautiful. You can look at the dirt right here. Not less dirt, almost more clay as you get into Bryce Canyon National Park. It's a very fascinating environment, very beautiful with extreme color changes. Like, look behind me at all this. It's bright red color, and when the sun goes down and when the sun comes up, this turns such a fiery color, unlike any other thing that most people have ever seen. When I first came here and saw this, I sat up here on the very top of this mountain, very top of this red rock spire. Was much drier, much safer to climb, and just stared. Oh my god. So this red rock is very, very cool. We're about to move into the park right now. It's very high elevation. You can tell how much snow there is all around, and it's deep still too. So hopefully we have some fun. Welcome to Bryce Canyon. It is the second morning of this national park tour. We are at Bryce Canyon National Park. Let me show you what we're working with right here, man. Look how deep this snow is. Over here, there's like a solid 2 to 3 feet of snow pretty much anywhere you look. Over here, man, we're looking at like 5 feet of snow. It's March. It's almost April, and it's in Utah. But this is one of the highest national parks, I think the highest national park by elevation in Utah. I think we get up to almost 8,000 feet at the top of this national park at Rainbow Point. So I'm gonna take you there right now. The sun's coming out though, so it's gonna be some really good conditions. Hopefully get some great footage. Welcome to day 2. Why do you guys still have so much snow, bro?
Just got another foot.
This is crazy.
You need a map?
Nah, I'm all good. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh God, why? Oh, they closed the best part of the park, dude. It makes sense. I mean, look at how much snow there is, but Rainbow Point is the best view. It's up at the top of the canyon. You can get a lot of little views. You go off in the corners and the sides here, and we're about to go to Inspiration Point, which I remember going to last time. Also a really good view. But if you have the patience to go up to the top of the park, you get the best view. So, advice for you when you come here, but let's go look at Inspiration Point, and it is quite inspiring. Almost to the view. What is up? Bryce Canyon. Oh my goodness. Wow. Bryce Canyon's only year-round resident right here. This is Olaf. That's probably gonna get copyrighted, I don't know. Behind me is what they call the Silent City of Bryce Canyon. All these red rocks look like little stone castles scattered throughout the forest. And if you look around away from the canyon, this place really is a forest. Like, it just goes on. Mountains over there, forest forever. Way over here, it's absolutely beautiful. It's wild land, bear, mountain lions, elk, mule deer, all sorts of animals call this place home. It is really wild, and it embodies exactly what I think a national park should be. Not just a spectacular sight, not just amazing, an amazing area, but actual wild functioning ecosystem around the national park. There's actually a really interesting Native American legend about this place, though, that I want to say before I end this video here, is that this used to be a hot spot for Native American activity. Like, who wouldn't want to be here back in the day, right? It's super warm in the summer, wild games do here all the time. But apparently this canyon, according to Native American myth, was home to a people that could shapeshift into animals. They were evil, they were devious, so one of the Indian shamans came out here and cast a spell on them, turning them all into stone. So it's said that if you go look close enough, you can almost see and hear the pained screams of the creatures that were all turned into stone that made the Silent City. So it's kind of a horrific little Native American legend. I don't really like to believe it, but if it's true, thank you for your sacrifice, because they've made one of the most spectacular sights known to man. Yoo-hoo! Oh my gosh. Ah! I gotta do it before I leave. Get some Bryce Canyon on my face. That's what we were looking for. Oh my god, it's so cold. It's so cold. This drive through southern Utah was one of the craziest I've ever had, not because of the scenery that I got to see. I've been here before, but because of the weather that was happening while I was here. There was sunny, beautiful, happy, blue skies with beautiful clouds all the time. And then literally 20 miles later, I ran into this. It's ridiculous. 5 feet of snow on either side of the road, barely keeping the car on the road. And the next morning, it was back to sunshine and happiness and all the great stuff that you could ask for on a trip like this. It was just the craziest conditions I'd ever seen. Lucky for me, though, I did make it to Capitol Reef, and that's where we're headed right now. We're here. Let's go. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Littered across the bottom of this huge sandstone wall are the Fremont petroglyphs. It's petroglyphs that tell maybe the coolest story of any national park anywhere. You can see them right here. I'll pull out my phone and get some closer pictures for you. This little family holding hands here. These petroglyphs are so cool. So they don't want me to get too close. They don't want vandalists or anything. But I gotta talk about this story for a second because it's just so unbelievable. So about 300 to 1300 CE, thousands of years ago, here in Capitol Reef Canyon, there was ancestors of the Hopi Indian tribe that lived maybe the most prosperous life in the entire country. This place was a paradise. Like, it didn't get too cold in the winter, didn't get too hot in the summer. They found ancient irrigation channels proving that the native Indians were farmers as well as hunters. There was so much wild game, there was water. It was just the perfect place to live. Then suddenly 1300 CE, they just disappear. No one knows what happened to them, despite the fact they're living the coolest life ever. So what happened? Well, some researchers think they were assimilated into other tribes. Some people think they were killed off by war. But the Hopi Indian people of today look at these petroglyphs as proof that their ancestors completed some sort of spiritual migration, some sort of awakening where they passed on to the next realm. And now that sounds an awful lot like, to some people, like alien intervention. So am I saying I believe this? No. But if you look at some of these petroglyphs, you think like, man, what are they trying to depict there? It might just be somebody that had a crazy dream, or these petroglyphs might document the first ever alien abduction in the world. Like you can see right here. However, the Hopi people do not share this belief. The Hopi believe their ancestors who departed Capitol Reef did so to complete their migrations to, some crazy word, the center of the universe. The Hopi people understand the petroglyphs and other surviving artifacts are testimony to the clan migrations to the center of the universe. So we might be standing in the site of the first alien abduction ever. Maybe they were taken off to space, disappeared that way. I thought there was some show, it might have been Ancient Aliens, I read something about it, where people came and theorized that there might have been alien intervention here. It's fun to believe. It's just fun to look at the petroglyphs and say, well, maybe, right? Probably not, but super cool. Check them out. Check out the pictures or the video I got on my phone. There they are. And they just keep going. So many of them. Like, look at this huge dude. What's he doing? I don't. They're so incredible, like impossible to decipher today, but the idea of them, so amazing. On the road again, off to one of my favorite all-time national parks, what I think has the best view of anywhere. But before we get there, we gotta go visit some dinosaurs. Let's go. Bonus stop on the way to Canyonlands National Park. I saw the sign for a place I've never been to before. Goblin Valley State Park, not National Park, State Park. It was actually one of the more expensive state parks too. It was 20 bucks to get in here, but it's called Goblin Valley because if you look at all these little structures, they have like little heads. They look like goblins wandering through the valley. It's so weird. And the ground is super weird too. We'll get down in there and I'll show you a little closer. First thing I'll point out that makes this park really unique is that we're watching rock like turn into dirt right before our eyes. So if you go down here, like this is mud. This is like clay, mud sort of dirt. And there's a rock right here. Like the rock is in the process of becoming dirt. So like most national parks that I've gone to in Utah are all like sandstone walking. This is a mud valley. I can only imagine this entire valley is like quicksand when it gets wet outside. It's just really crazy. And now you can see the goblin heads. This one's the best one I've seen so far. These little just mushroom rocks. Like if you look how big they are, they're actually, it's probably a good 25 feet tall. They're very big. There was a sign that was up there on the top kind of trying to explain how these structures form, but it was a little beyond my comprehension level. Like I was trying to imagine it and I don't really get it, so I'm not going to try to explain it, but I am going to say like this is really quite amazing. Like some things just deserve to be appreciated because they are. You don't have to know why, you don't have to know when, you don't have to know what. You just kind of have to look at it and say like, wow. That's real cool. All right, that was just a quick little bonus stop. Now we're on our way back to Dinosaur Park and Canyonlands National Park, so we gotta hurry if we're gonna make it all this evening. Let's go. Boom, we made it. This is the park entrance to the Moab Giants, my favorite dinosaur park I've ever been to. Doesn't have a whole lot of fossils, but they do it one better. I'll show you. They actually have the indoor portion open this time. I didn't get to see this last time, but if you're not familiar with Utah, it has some of the most dinosaur tracks, real life dinosaur tracks that you can find anywhere. Like this is a theropod, like a massive footprint that is real. It's like cut out of the ground. This is stone, and I haven't been inside the rest of this building, so this is all new for me. Let's go. Look at this. That's probably a Utah raptor right there. We're looking at some sort of huge herbivore right here. This is some sort of sauropod, like a long-necked dinosaur. Absolutely amazing. And now this is the coolest part, what makes it the best dinosaur park ever, is they create real-life models of dinosaurs. This is a Coelophysis Triassic period. These were the first of the dinosaurs during a time when there were mostly reptiles on land. This is one of the first ever real dinosaurs discovered, and they do such a brilliant job bringing them to life. Here's another example of this is a first Triassic period animal. This is actually a Dimetrodon. It's a reptile, not a dinosaur. So this is what mostly was walking around during the time of the first dinosaurs. And Coelophysis was one of the first dinosaurs. This is a reptile that would just chomp on everything it found. God, it's spectacular. Last thing we're going to look at before we go out and see like the really cool part of the park. But they have actual paleontologists working on real-life fossils right here behind the glass. So you talk about like just an educational center, promote how awesome it is to learn about dinosaurs, and like look, they show you just how much all these animals, like if you look at the skeleton up there, and then they just show you what the Mamienchosaurus, I think is what this one is, would look like as a real animal. They do such an amazing job, and it's just the scale, absolutely incredible. But they do it even better outside. I've been talking too much in here. Let's go outside. Here we go down the dinosaur trail. Now check this out. We're going into the late Triassic period. It goes Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous. This was the first period of the dinosaurs, the first age of the dinosaurs. Look at it, real life models of real dinosaurs. These are coelosaurids. Gosh, they're hard to pronounce. There's a lot of the animals here that I don't know, and I loved dinosaurs when I was a kid. But this should be a Plateosaurus. It was kind of like a hybrid bipedal quad animal, four-legged animal. They're so cool, and they're real size animals, like sculptures, to show you what dinosaurs felt like back in the day. But they get so much bigger and so much more scary. Example of how scary these things get. This right here is a Gojirasaurus, which is named after it. It's called a Godzilla lizard, is what that name actually means. Look how big they are. Look how, I'm going to set up the camera and show you. Look at this. Can you imagine having this thing, that thing chasing you? Oh my gosh, man. You wouldn't stand a chance. I was wrong. This is actually the Plateosaurus right here. Real life track example of how big they were. Like, check it out. They're massive. And we're just getting to I think the biggest model in the park right now, which is actually a small, it's not to scale of how big they actually were. Let's look. If this doesn't make you fall in love with dinosaurs, I don't know what does. This is a model of the Diplodocus, which is supposed to be potentially the longest sauropod ever. There's some other ones that they think might have been longer, like Sauropodsian, and there's Brachiosaurus was, I think, the tallest one ever. But this one is like maybe 60 feet-ish long, something like that. There are estimates these things could have been almost double this length, at up to like 110 feet long. So this is actually a small scale model. And if you want to see, there's another one right here, by the way. If you want to see like a scale comparison in the camera, look at this. Look at how massive this actually is. Like, I come up to its elbow. Look. man, people ask me why I love dinosaurs. This is the stuff, man. I grew up learning all about these things, and I think it gets even cooler. We have a few other more charismatic, potentially, animals throughout the rest of the park. Some that you'll know. We'll go. Here we are, the wolf of the Jurassic. This was my favorite dinosaur for a long time. This is the Allosaurus. My gosh, just like putting my hand in, like, gives me the chills. Allosaurus was something like up to like 30, maybe 40 feet long. And they were a huge theropod, very, very dangerous by themselves. Like, you can just imagine how scary it would be to see something like this lurking in the bushes looking at you. But the scariest part about Allosaurus was that this is an animal that hunted in packs. They would hunt down massive sauropods like those Diplodocus in packs of probably 5 to 10 and shred them. It's like the wolf of the Jurassic is what they call them. But now we're moving into the Cretaceous period, where we have two very, very cool models over here. If you've seen Jurassic Park, you'll know what these are. These are Gallimimus. It's amazing to see how big they actually were. These were like the cheetahs back in the day. They hunted small mammals, ate mostly plants, but they were said to be able to run up to maybe like 50, 60 miles an hour. Now this is another one of many a young boy's favorite animal. This is the Utah raptor, named for the state of Utah where it was discovered. Right here, this was the biggest velociraptor. Oh no, because there was the Ultraraptor or something like that. There was a bigger one that didn't have the same facial structure as this one technically, but this is the biggest predatory raptor that they found. If you want to see what makes it a raptor, this was the part that was so scary about these animals. This huge hooked claw would take animals down. Before we get to the star of the show, these are little dromaeosaurs or velociraptors. Dromaeosaurids is the family, I think, but this is how big like the actual velociraptor was. The actual portrayals in Jurassic Park were of Deinonychus, which is a larger animal that was about 10 feet long and was much more scary than velociraptors. Velociraptors just hunted in packs, so they would take things down. In reality, only about 3 feet tall. Fun fact. Now we get to the star of the show, though, in the face of dinosaurs everywhere. You know what it is. This is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. They have two models here, and I think they're actually built to be bigger than the Diplodocus over on the other side. Look at how massive this model is. This is absolutely incredible. Look at the foot. Look at the foot. It's so wild. So T-Rex, if you didn't know, like this is the animal. It was supposed to be the biggest carnivore ever existed. That's not technically true. Spinosaurus was technically bigger. Gigantosaurus was thought to potentially be longer, but now with what we know today and what I've, I guess, read, is T-Rex is supposed to be the meatiest one. Its jaw structure is the thickest, and it's supposed to have one of the greatest bite forces of any animal that ever lived. Actually supposed to be fairly smart as well. So T-Rex, really incredible models. We spent a lot of time at the dinosaur park talking. Really is just another side route of this national park trip. This is gonna be a long YouTube video. We are headed over to Canyonlands National Park now that it's getting to the evening for the best view of anything, I think, in the country. My favorite view in the country, and during the best time of the day, which is getting to evening time. So let's hope we get a good one. You can just now begin to see the view. This is Canyonlands National Park. I've taken a different route to get to the edge for this one, but I got to take you up to the lip of the canyon before we go too in depth. Beautiful out here. It took a minute to get here, but here we are at the lip of Canyonlands National Park, and it never gets old. It never gets old. Oh. People ask me all the time where my favorite places that I've been are. This view behind me is definitely one of them. Definitely one of them. The reason why is because while it's not the greenest or the most wild or the, I don't know, there's just so many other adjectives you can give to other places that I've been. The reason why this is my favorite view in the entire world that I've been to so far is that every place has a different feeling when you get to it, and Canyonlands has the unique ability to be able to grow the longer you're here. I don't even necessarily know how to describe that, but there's other places where you'll go, like the Yosemite Cliffs. I went and I looked up at Yosemite, and after a while, like, it almost shrunk down. It was like shrinking it down into a zip file that I could fit into my brain, and I can keep that wherever I go. But Canyonlands has the unique ability to just keep growing. The longer I look at this view, the more it just gets bigger. And that's unlike anywhere else I've ever been before. This view just grows bigger the longer I look at it. It's so spectacular. Like, there's the river, the Green River over here. There's all the little mini canyons over here. And there's a little tiny tree over there. It's like, oh, I didn't even see that before. And then there's more and more canyons. It just keeps going and going. Another spire and another. There's more. The longer you look, everywhere you go comes with different feelings. This has been a really big day. I'm getting kind of sleepy filming this right now. I went to Capitol Reef this morning. I went to Valley of the Goblins, or Goblin City State Park, and then Dinosaurs that we just did, and now we're at Canyonlands, which is my favorite viewpoint in the world. There's been so much here, and every single one of the places that I visited has different feelings that they leave you with. They change you as a person, and that's what makes travel so important. It changes you. It doesn't just give you a view in your head. It changes who you are and raises your level of consciousness. So we still got one more national park to do tomorrow, which is Arches National Park. It's one of the most hard ones to get into. It's usually very crowded. So we're going to hope and see if we can do it. Right now I'm going to take the long walk over the sandstone hills back to my car and go find a place to retire for the night. If you haven't been here, though, you got to just come look. 30 minutes. Just look. You'll leave changed. It's finally the day. We are here on day 4, I think, outside of Arches National Park, just about to drive in. We're going to hike to the symbol of Utah, is Delicate Arch. That's on all the Utah license plates. Very excited about it. I'm underslept from being so cold for most of this trip, but it is going to be worth it to visit the last national park today. So here we go into Arches National Park. The amphitheater that holds Delicate Arch is right around this bend, and starting at this rock right here is the amphitheater with the arch. But something I'm very conscious about, I try to be, and I want you to be very conscious about as well when you're visiting special places like Delicate Arch and Arches National Park, is to bring the best version of yourself possible. Especially this place is an energy vortex. Most nature has a certain energy to it that brings you to life a little bit. So when you come, bring the best version of yourself you can, because you already know that this site is going to do right by you. It's going to do as best it can to give you the best energy and change your life. When I saw this for the first time, it changed my life, knowing what there could be on the planet. So when you show up at these places, bring the best energy you can and give. Be willing to give. Here we go. Delicate Arch.
Okay, way closer. Okay, too far. What's up?
So beautiful. That's so beautiful. There are some moments in life where you will be lucky enough to lack the words to fully describe the amount of feelings that you have. This is one of those. It's the moments that I'll chase till the day I die. I'll still be here. And I hope that this 5 national park tour, from Zion to Bryce Canyon to Capitol Reef to Canyonlands to finally Arches National Park, has left you speechless at least once, like I felt so many times out here. Stay wild, be free, and get outside. See you around.